Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? What up, what up? It's your girl, Audie, getting at you guys with another Audie's Art Struggles podcast episode. Yes, today is the 20th of July, 2025, and I'm tired. I'm extremely tired. I'm exhausted, kind of let down, disappointed, annoyed, frustrated, and feeling sick due to the the spoonfuls of strawberry ice cream that I just had while listening to Just Rob's Twitter Spaces episode. Go check out Rob's Just Thinking on Twitter. I'll post a link. That way you guys can go there and check out his works. He speaks some insightful things. He gets you thinking. And hopefully he will get you guys to act right. Because the place that I was at last night, in my opinion, I feel like nobody was really acting right. But, I took a chance. I did a advertisement on my Instagram, which is instagram.com/Audrey Alcuenva. About the, I keep wanting to say peanut butter. It's pancakes and booze event at the Deuce in Phoenix, Arizona. And hi, babe. So I've been, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. I guess in the very beginning. Didn't know. Okay, well, first of all, like I said in previous Art Struggles episodes, I talked, I believe, twice about I was just I was getting swamped with advertisements of like art galleries, exhibitions, museums, art shows, and things like that, right? Like I'll get an ad popping up like, oh, we're having an art walk, at this place. And we're looking for vendors, we're looking for artists, we're looking for people to display their works and, click here and sign up. Here's an application, things like that. And I told myself last year, actually, that next year, which is this year, 2025, I was like, girl, you gotta start getting into some places, like get back out there. You've been doing this shit since you were a child, just, you hit more than a few rough patches in the past couple years of your life where you were kind of forced to not do your art. So you need to get back out there. Like, you need to start doing your works and things like that, right? So I started applying at these places, and I feel like one of them I applied, I feel like was a fucking scam because I haven't heard anything from that organization, but they keep sending me emails. Okay, I'm not gonna get into how I got fucking scammed. But so I applied to this one, which is, pancakes and booze. And they're known to have this event all over the United States. And, they just hit up different clubs like, hey, we want to do an event and we're calling it pancakes and booze, kind of thing. So I tried it and I watched like a YouTube video, and it was very like, okay, I could try this, and let me tell you, I haven't been clubbing in years. I have not been clubbing in years, okay? Um yeah, just again, I don't know where to begin. Anyhow, I applied and they had like a bunch of rules. And yes, me speaking on this is, like I feel like it's important. Now, I'm not bashing pancakes and booze. I am not bashing the deuce. I'm not doing none of that. This is solely on my experience as an artist that has been in exhibitions. I've been on art walks, museums, art shows, everything, right? Let me tell you straight up, this was not my vibe, okay? That's not how I work. That is the environment and all of that shit. That's just not how me, Audrey Alquenva, I do not do business that way, okay? This is not a hobby for me. This is a legit business. This is my business. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, maybe I should get into like the stressful week that I had trying to prepare for this show. And this show was only like 4 hours long, but for some reason they wanted you to check in like hours early, right? And I just that part was a waste of time. It really was. So I'll get into the rules. I know I kind of highlighted that part, but trying to prepare for a show for an artist, a single artist, right? Like I don't have collaborators, like I don't have a helper, like I don't, I'm doing everything by myself. That comes with like not just doing the artwork, but like you're talking like advertising. You gotta have the finances to do the helper work part, like making prints and picking up prints, ordering prints. You have to, like you have to have everything. And you guys heard it from me. I do everything last minute. Like last minute. I've applied for this show probably like a month in advance. If not 3 weeks. But I say a month. And my modern life obviously, it gets in the way. And oh my god. Yeah, just yeah, just that. So, last minute, last week, this last past week, stressful week, I had started on a canvas, and shout out to Just Rob for helping me pick a color palette. That's the color palette that I would have never picked for myself. And the painting came out fucking amazing. Check it out on my Instagram. Instagram.com/Audrey Alquenva. It came out so sick. And again, I would have never picked that color palette. Shout out to my dad as well, because at the very last minute, like I'm talking like an hour before I took off to the event, my dad put the hardware on the back, like the wiring and everything on my canvas. He did an amazing job, as he always does. He's always there for me. He does not mind, and I love my pops for that. He is my Superman. So shout out, Dad. Thank you. And oh my gosh, like, was it not yesterday, but the day before, I have not sprayed my canvas. Like, I always spray varnish my pieces, but the thing that fucked with me was that I did not clean up the imperfections of my canvas. I only saw it after I varnished the entire thing. When I was outside, I was like, what the fuck was that? You know, I would look on the painting and I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I loved painting outside, is because you can see all your fuck ups and you can correct it right then and there. As you have to paint out, you already have to paint on the brush, and you can just clean it up, right? And you have natural light coming from all fucking places that you can see every fucking mistake. Inside, I completely missed more than 3 fucking spots, and I already sprayed my painting. Oh my gosh. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe you can clean it up, and then maybe you can hand brush the varnish on. But, you know, if you guys know anything about textures, let's just say it's a disaster. All right. But, you know, when you look at the painting, you can't see it unless you're like looking at it from a certain angle with a glare. Yeah, it's, oh my God. But anyhow, it still looks good. I'm still proud of it. And according to my parents, they're like, yeah, real collectors of yours, they're not gonna care. Like, my dad has told me this, and I know I told you guys this in a way earlier episode, that my dad's customers, they actually pay more for the mistakes that my dad has made on a piece. Don't know if that will happen for me, but it's there. I'm so proud of it. It looks so good, and I still was not done with it. I still had to paint the old style lightning bolts in a metallic, it's like silver. I don't think it's silver leaf because it's not chrome enough, I guess, because silver leaf or gold leaf, if you guys know, it's like a lot more shiny. It's like a mirror effect. It's, you know, it has a very, very mirroring effect, right? And it's shinier, but it's just not chrome. I was okay with that. Like, I kind of expected that. But, you know, I had to, you know, and they're just straight lines. If you look at the painting, they're just straight lines. Let me tell you, straight lines you think are easy to paint, you know, especially like freehand. Yeah, damn near took an hour for 2 lightning bolts. And I was running out of time. I just was. And oh my God, like I was such a mess. Like, oh my gosh, like my office, it doesn't get any air conditioning. I have to have a fan. Having the fan on was drying out my fucking paint. And I was sweating. I could smell myself. And my hair was a fucking bird's nest. And oh my gosh, it was just horrible. It was just, yeah, I was disgusting yesterday. But during the week, I could not connect my printer to my computer. And when I did, the scanner worked, but then the printer didn't work. And then I would fuck around with it for a little bit, unplugging it, turning it off and on, restarting my computer. And then guess what? Now the printer works, but the scanner don't. And I was trying to find loopholes, like, okay, how can I scan, or how can I print, or, whatever. And then when I finally got both of them to work, I would scan a painting and I was like, oh fuck. I need to clean up the original painting. Yes, I could have taken it, and I have taken it to Photoshop to clean it up a little bit more. But the original painting that I was wanting to sell, it needed more touch-ups with a paintbrush. So I would have to stop all tech production. Okay? I have to walk around over my mess in my studio, and everything was just bothering the fuck out of me. Everything was just in my way. Everything was just in my way. Yeah. And I know I put it there, but shit, it was still in my way. Yeah. I had to walk around and find the perfect paintbrush. Oh, I can't find it. Where can it possibly be? Oh, that's right. I threw it away because I was going to get another one. So now I have to look for a different paintbrush. Oh, I found it. What did I do with my white paint? I pick up a bottle of white paint, nothing in it. I pick up another bottle of white paint, it's dry as fuck. I know I bought another bottle of white paint, but bitch, I can't fucking find it. So I plop my ass down in front of the computer, go to the craft store website. I have it in my shopping cart, about to fucking buy it so I can pick it up curbside. And it says, you bought one, bitch, a month ago. And I'm looking at it like, I just fucking bought one. Where the fuck is it at? If I could slap and smack my forehead right now, it was literally an arm's length of where the fuck I'm sitting right now. It was under some fucking paperwork. Oh my gosh. And I wasted like 25 fucking minutes. And I'm looking at these other bottles of white paint. I'm like, why the fuck didn't I throw these away? I don't know. It's, us artists, the cost of materials is very expensive. And do I need to say more? I ended up throwing those fuckers away. Who cares? I already bought another fucking one. Oh my God. And I'm getting hot, stressing about white paint. Turn on the fan, it's drying out my paintbrush and my paint. Oh, but guess what? You don't have water to add to your paint to get the motherfucker wet again. So, I mean, can you guys... So, cleaned it up, and I see some other imperfections. I have to clean my brush. I have to find those other paints, do the touch-ups, wash my paintbrush again, bring out another color of paint. Oh, shit. You went a little too far. You gotta go back out and take out the other paint so you can correct that mistake. Okay, a lot of back and forth when it comes to cleanup. Whether it's cleaning of your materials or it's cleanup of the piece that you're working on. That's just how it is. So now I think I have my originals ready for scan. And guess what? The scanner stopped working. Gah! It did. It fucking did. And I'm like, you were only idling for an hour and you just gave up on me. Oh my gosh, that was such a fucking nightmare. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll give it another day. Maybe I'll try again tomorrow and it'll work. I still have other things to do. So I had to make some cards for my painting. You know, it's the cards that you put right beside your painting. It has the information about the painting, who painted it, the price, and you know your information. I put QR codes. Oh, excuse me. How to pay for the piece. So I put all that on there, but I had to make like 3 of them because I was only allowed three paintings for this event. So I had to, you know, make those, and then I had to make description cards for my prints that I have still yet to scan. Okay, I had to, and they came out sick as fuck. I'm quite proud of how they came out. And the thing that I was stressing about was that I didn't have any cardstock to print on, and you know, cardstock paper is very expensive. You know, and I don't mind, you know, going cheaper on the cardstock or whatever. I'm still gonna have use for them, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Not for I only needed like a few sheets of cardstock, and I was not about to spend, let's say, $20 on cardstock for an event that is only 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not worth it to me. So but I designed the cards, and I was like, you know what? Like, I can just print them out on paper. Like, it's fine. It's just gonna go along with the prints and things. And I'm very appreciative being, you know, having a family that is very artistic. We have tried and tested a lot of things in our businesses that we have the, not just the means, but like the materials and the supplies to, you know, to allow us to just go and strive and like, oh, we got it, just put it out on the table, we can make some cuts. I'm very thankful that my parents had their paper cutter or something. It's almost industrial. They used to have them at Kinko's. It's not Kinko's anymore, but if you guys remember Kinko's, it's one of those. And I was able to cut out the paper cards and everything. You know, I prefer it on cardstock, which I'm going to be changing them out to cardstock. To me, it's just a lot more durable and a lot more professional than paper. Those are the things that I look at. It bugs me, and I just want everything to be perfect. Like, I want, you know, I feel like cardstock is a lot more, it just means a lot more on cardstock than a piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was very happy that I had that cutter, and, you know, I had a little bit of ink left that I was able to print some cards, but let me tell you, the printer fucking gave up. The printer gave up. I was printing 4 sheets of paper that had cards on them, right? Like the cards that I designed. And then all of a sudden, mid printing, it goes beep, 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 beep. I'm like, oh my God, don't tell me. And then it said, bitch, you're out of ink. I was beside myself. And oh my gosh. Yeah. And I was like, why am I like, like my head just got fuzzy and snowy and cloudy. Like all the brain, all the blood either went to my brain or it went away from that. Either way, like my brain fucking went snowy. Like I was gonna pass out, but I didn't even budge. Like I'm just like, let it happen. Just let it come. I'm ready. So I'm like, okay, I have to buy ink. And that was another thing that I was battling with, because it's like, when if I buy this ink and the printer stops working as soon as I get the ink? I took a chance. Bought the ink with some vitamins. And it said that it was going to be delivered between 4 and 7 a.m. And it got delivered like around 9 o'clock in the morning, which was great because I didn't need to get to the place. I knew I was going to be late getting to the place, but anyways. What else fucking went wrong? You know, Rob helped me download something for my scanner. It worked when we did it, and then the next fucking day didn't work. And I had to fuck around with it again on my computer, and I was like, okay, I think I found something. It actually worked. And I had to rescan 3 paintings because they're the ones that needed touching up, and scanned them. And I cleaned them up on Photoshop, and then I had to make them all like the same size and things like that. And then I had to rush them over to the printing place, and they were like, "Oh, your prints won't be done until after 6." And mind you, this is like the day before yesterday, so I felt like I still had time, but it was just, oh my god, like I'm getting tired all over again just talking about it right now. So I got those over to the printers, and I was like, man, I hope they align the images center of the print. I hope the colors are bright and not dull. And they better fucking hurry up so I can get them, wrapped in plastic and, things like that. Shout out to my parents for picking up my prints. But when I received them, the colors were completely dull. I was disappointed. And they did not center the images on the paper. And when my parents brought my prints, I was outside spraying the painting. I couldn't really get a good look. Oh man, I was let down. I was disappointed. I was like, okay, so I spent, this much money. And I was already like, okay, these are going to have to be sold as B grade prints. They're not high quality prints. They are still for sale. And if you guys are interested in the B grade, then I will have I already do have a link for those, so you guys can go check them out if you like. They are, because they're B grade, I should say, the prices are lowered a bit. So I will post a link, that way you guys can check them out. But I still have yet to make high quality prints. I'm gonna try to do better next time, but yes, they are available if you guys are interested. But not quite happy with them until I was like, okay, I gotta take to my, damn near industrial paper cutter, and I cut off the edges of the images, and it looks so much better. It looks so much cleaner and a lot more professional, and now I am proud of the prints. The only thing that I don't like about them, if I were to critique or whatever, is the color. Like, the color is not bright. It could just be a little better, right? They're all signed. I signed them and I put the year on them, and I just couldn't seal all of them because I didn't have the rest of the description cards printed, because remember, I ran out of ink, so I couldn't seal the rest of the prints, so I had to wait for that. So I figured I had everything right. And I just had to wait for the next day. So when the ink came, I threw those in the printer. I printed, the painting cards. I printed the description cards. I printed out it was like a sheet for like my Cash App, my Venmo, my Chime, like all the payment things that I take. I printed that out. And, I had my dad do the hardware stuff on the back of the painting while I took my nasty ass in the fucking shower. And I was still getting ready, and my dad's like, you want me to cut out the cards? And I said, yes, please. And then he did that. So I was doing, I was sealing the prints and things like that at the very last minute. Whew. Aren't you guys tired? I'm tired. I know you guys are probably tired of all this shit, but it is my fault that I do things last minute. So, if I have anyone to blame, it's myself. But I was asking Rob on my way to the event, I was like, do I just think it's that simple? That's why I do things last minute. Like, that's nothing. I could get that out the way, very quickly. Like, is it that, or is it not a big deal to me? Like, do I not care? I forgot what he said, but maybe he can write it in the chat. I don't know. But okay, so let's get to the event. Now, the event rules said, like, they were kind of making it like no exceptions. You set up from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, even though the event starts at 8 o'clock. So I get there about half an hour early. Well, not half an hour early. Half an hour before 5 o'clock. So I got there at like 4:30. It was really cool because artists... I'm trying not to say artists because just Rob. Yeah, he loves to correct the motherfucker. So, but it was really funny because when I pulled up to the guy under the umbrella, I was like, yeah, I'm one of the artists. And then I stopped and I was like, oh my God. And just Rob was on the phone with me. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, you can just go ahead and park. So I didn't have to pay for parking. And I was laughing my ass off because I was like, oh my God, I said artists. And he's like, yeah, you did. I'm like, oh my gosh. I caught myself right after I said it. So it's artists. I still say artists. I guess I don't care. That's how original I am. But it's artists. Okay. So, and let me tell you guys something. And this is, just be open, okay? Like, yes, we all have our own beliefs. I don't care what background religion, organization you believe or that you come from. But just be open to what I'm saying. Okay, just be open. You don't have to believe me if you don't want to. But the entire day yesterday, I felt sick as fuck. Now, you guys know that I'm I have ills, right? I have illnesses, and what I was feeling all day yesterday was not that. It was completely different. Um Most of us women, like, we have a fupa, right? If you guys don't know what a fupa is, research it. FUPA, fupa on a woman, okay? Um I I was hurting, like, right there. And if you guys want to blame it on, women problems, or whatever, fine. But I know it's not that. I know what it feels like when I'm about to be on it, or while I'm on it. Just Rob says artist. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's what I get. But I don't know what that feeling was, but I was really uncomfortable. So I get there, and I had my little ticket. She scanned my ticket. She put a little wristband on me, and she was like, "Yeah, just go pick a spot." And I'm like, "All right." So I probably shouldn't have been like where I was. I probably should have walked around everywhere before I just saw the first place, right? And I'll get to that in a second. But I met a gentleman. He was an artist there as well. Seems like he's been there like a while. I got his information, and we were talking, and I was asking him, like, "Oh, is there somebody that can help me put up my painting?" So I went chasing after the wrong man, because just because I seen a dude walking around with the drill, I automatically thought that he was part of the event, but he wasn't. He was just another artist's father that just happened to be walking around with the drill. But then there was this other guy. I don't like the way he hung my stuff, because I tried telling him how to do it, and he just did what he wanted. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm only here a couple hours. There was this woman that was an artist space away from me, and I don't really want to talk bad about people's like art and things like that, unless I'm really trying to understand their art. But I try to understand her character, because she came up talking to me and wanting to conversate and things like that about her art and her experience and her this and her that, right? But the moment I start talking about my things, she's just like, mm-hmm, oh, mm-hmm. Like, and just going about messing around with her stuff, not giving me eye contact, like she's moving around, around her things. And I'm trying to talk to her, and she's just like, honey, like, can we talk about this, like, after I'm done, like, maybe in about 30 minutes, like. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, like, but you were trying to talk to me though, like, that was disrespectful. It was, because you were trying to pull me away from hanging out my stuff, trying to have whole ass conversations with me. But when I turn around, you're just like, can we just not talk right now? until I'm done, and I'm just like, bitch. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and get something to eat because this event is again called Pancakes and Booze. So their whole thing is to sell, or not sell, but they're giving away free pancakes. And I felt like, okay, if they're giving away free pancakes, I don't think I'm going to be able to get some pancakes. I don't like pancakes. I like waffles. I like fried waffles. But yeah, I'm not there for pancakes. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, it's about 5 o'clock right now. The show don't start till 8. I should probably get something in me. I should probably get something to eat. So I went to Jack in the Box, called my parents, and I was like, I don't feel good, Mom and Dad. I feel like shit. I feel very, very uncomfortable. And they were like, what do you want us to do? You want us to come? You want us to bring it? Like my parents, they're very attentive. And I love that about my parents. One call and they're there. I love my parents so much for that. But I was like, I'm that type of person where I will disregard help. Like if you're asking me for help, I will try my best, my very, very best. I will give it my all before, I'll ask for help. And that's probably not the best way to be, but it's like, I'm not dying. I sound like I'm dying. I may act like I'm dying, but like I'm okay. Like I think I have enough strength to get through this. If I really need you, I will call you. Like that's my character, right? So I'm just like, no, Mom and Dad, it's okay. Like maybe if I eat, I'll be fine. Like I'm trying to, give myself plenty of wiggle room because it's only 5 and we have 3 more fucking hours before the show starts, which is so fucking dumb. So I got my stuff and then I went back to the parking lot, ate in the parking lot, was, trying to calm myself down, and I had some Tums because I was thinking maybe it was like something like that. I thought I was like fucking gassy and shit. But when you get up and walk around, you start to need to pass gas. Yeah, that was me. I'm not fucking ashamed of it. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, like is that what's going on with me? But after a while, like when I'm privately passing gas, right? That feeling was still there. And I just couldn't, like, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? And Rob was like, it's a spiritual thing. And I'm thinking like, and what's so silly, and I said this to my mom this morning. I was like, you know what, Mom? I don't even think I protected myself. And I don't know if I said that to you, babe. I don't know if I told you. Yeah, I don't think I did, honestly, because whatever the fuck was bothering me, yes, now it was a spiritual thing, and I'll get to that. Like, I kind of got confirmation this morning when I woke up, but, yeah, so anyway, I was sitting outside after I ate my food. I went out, to walk around or whatever, and I sat down on a bench, and we were supposed to already been done set up, but I saw people go in at 7:30 when the show opens at 8. I saw artists walk in with their works at 7:30 when I thought the rules said, like no exception, 1 to 5 you need to be set up. But there were people coming in at 7:30. So that's what ticked me off, because if they're really that flexible, I could have just waited. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing that I would get hyper about is parking. Because really, who the fuck wants to walk in Phoenix 118-degree fucking weather? You know what I'm saying? But like, I just wanted a parking, and I wanted, what I thought was a good space, but it wasn't. So yeah, that was the issue that I had, was that I could have came like at 7:30 if it wasn't that big of a fucking deal. But in the email, in the rules section, they're just like, no exceptions, blah blah blah. And then they said, oh, no tables. But people had tables. I don't know, like, it was like a little table, like, okay, cool. But there were people that had like a 3x6 fucking table. And I'm like, where the fuck does it say that you could have that kind of table? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I guess, but I just felt like all of that shit was unfair. But when everything kicked off and like people were paying covers to come in, and the music was going, it was like a club scene, like loud music inside and outside. Sure, the vibe is like, it was cool. Like, I don't think that's a right place to sell your art. My critique is, okay, I get it. If you're just showing your art, like you're just displaying it, and people are, like an art walk, you sip your wine, you're looking at art, you're not really there to buy anything. You're just going to look because it's art, not so much as going there to buy art. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, I don't know, just the way it was done. It's not my vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I could understand if, for other artists, it's like, artists, there I go again. For other artists, that may be their thing, music, and they're just acting like whole ass hippies and, doing their little sway that they do. I mean, I don't know. But that's not the place for me and my art. This is not a hobby for me. This is not a game to me. To me, this is serious business. People just were there for the free pancakes, for the booze, obviously. People were drinking and walking around with their cocktails and their drinks, and talking loud, yelling at each other because the music is so loud. You can't even talk about your art. And, like, for me, I like to talk about my pieces and explain and teach what my paintings represent. You can't do that at a place like this. This was definitely a visual arts kind of place where you look at the picture and you just, I don't know, like, I guess whatever goes inside your brain, and whatever your energy feels, whatever connection to the painting and the piece, like, that's, or you're just really pissed drunk and you just like everybody's art. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like people were, just feeling the drink, feeling each other and feeling the music and the lights, and, and they just like everybody's work, and that just wasn't for me, and I met a couple artists, and I was talking to this one, we're following each other on Instagram. She just followed me back this morning. I forget her name. I'm gonna have to go and look, but I was talking to her over the loud music, and I don't even know if she understood what I was saying or she heard everything. I know that when she was talking, there were certain things I couldn't understand about her, but she was showing me her art on her phone. She wasn't an artist there, like, she didn't hang any of her art, but Her art is pretty amazing. And she was like, oh, well, I think all what this is supposed to be is just networking. And for me, I'm like, and that's, yeah, and I'll admit it, like, I can network, but that's not what I'm there for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not there to network. Like, I'm there to, like, sell a couple prints and, like, talk about, my art, your art, like, I want to know you as an artist, or you as a viewer, as a customer, like, that's what I'm there for, like, interaction. Is that networking? I don't know. It don't feel like that to me, but she was like, I think it's just all about networking. But it's like, it's hard to network, okay, if it is that. It's hard to network with loud music. It's hard to network when all the artists are talking about only their stuff and they have no interest about what you're doing as an artist as well. There's no back and forth. It's all one-sided, and it's fucking crowded. You're trying to interact with people that you don't know if they're fucking alcoholics or not. I don't know. This is my first time at a place like this. Is it for me? No. If it's for them, cool. But I don't see myself going back unless it's to go there and have my beverage. And if I was just so in love with pancakes, or, oh my God, this is just too good to pass up, like, that's, no. Like, I'm a DJ. I got the music. I'm not going to go there for the music, I don't want to interact with people that are buzzed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not real to me. It's almost disrespectful. Again, these are just all my opinions. I'm not really trying to trash talk anybody, but it just, to me, it wasn't the vibe, One thing that I will say, because I know a lot of people critique my work. A lot of people think that my work is very simple and they don't take my art as art, which is fine, because I don't take your art for art. I walked around that place, and yes, there are plenty of people that are talented. They did amazing work. But the majority of people that were showing stuff was a bunch of scribbles. It was a bunch of paint being splattered on a surface. It just seemed like there was no care. And what I always tell people, I told Rob, I said it on my cast, I told my parents, I tell customers, I tell artists, artists. Oh my God, I'm trying to change. But I always tell people that I don't like artists that are not attached to their works. They're not attached to their techniques. It's almost like they're just doing whatever, like, oh, I just do whatever I feel. And, when you look at their works, it doesn't, like, all of their works, like all of the works, I should say, do not look like they all came from one artist. And it's like, well, how would people know that that's a so-and-so piece? Because when you look at my father's artwork, my dad's artwork is very bold. The formation in his pieces, the matting, the little designs that are within the design. And, the style, the shininess, the high polish. That's how everyone knows that his work is a Anderson Coinva piece. When you look at my furniture and you see the black and white border around my furniture piece, that's part of my signature. So when you see a piece of furniture that has the luna, that's what we call it, the luna. It means rain, raindrops. Oh, that's an Audrey Alcoinva piece. When you look at the boldness of my designs, the black and white, oh, that's an Audrey Alcoinva piece. These highlighted squares and rectangles, that's an Audrey Alcoinva piece. No one else does it but me. It's my work. But when you look at other people's or artists' artwork, like, I wouldn't be able to tell whose artwork is whose. And in my opinion, I think that's important if you want to leave behind a legacy, if you want to be known for your art. You know, to me, people that, you know, I could do anything as well. I could do portraits. I've done portraits when I was in high school. I did portraits of hip hop artists. I've done landscape art. I've done abstract. I'm not good at abstract, but I've done it, and that's not really for me. I'll keep practicing, but if I do it, no one's gonna know that that was an Audrey Alcoinva piece, because abstract is not an Audrey Alcoinva thing for her to do. You know, yes, art is subjective, but I guess I don't want to say, okay, maybe I am too limited, but I know the reason why I paint the way that I paint. And I tried giving that lesson last night, but no motherfucker could hear me. But when I paint animals, they have to be perfect because animals are perfect. They're healthy. Nothing's wrong with them. They're strong. They are perfect beings. That's why I paint them perfectly. And when I was trying to ask a few artists about their art, it was like, oh, I don't know, I just did it. And that's where I'm like, okay, so you don't care. You know, that's just my opinion. It's like people know the techniques, but they're not attached to them. They're not attached to the art. It means nothing to them. But that was just my observation, you know. I've been an artist for 35 years. And these artists, I know, babe, I know. These artists, they were like, oh, I've been an artist for 4 years. I've been an artist 12 years. I've been an artist 13 years. And what I found interesting was that they were talking to me like I was an upcoming artist. And they were trying to, you know, I mean, I don't know. I just felt like, okay, sure, we're judging one another. You know, let's be real. We are all judging each other. We're critiquing each other's works, which is fine. You know, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to give your opinion. I'm proud of what I do, and they're proud of what they do. But I felt a sense of belittling. Like they were talking to me like I didn't know anything. And as soon as I said, oh, I've been an artist for 35 years, their whole attitude changed. It did. It did change. that's where the woman that was an artist shy away from me, I felt like she was like, well, she did. It wasn't like, oh, I felt like she was. She did. She was like, oh, can you watch my booth? I'm going to go get some water. I'm going to use the bathroom. Oh, can you watch my booth? I'm going to go look around for a bit and I'll be right back. Oh, can you watch my booth? I'm going to get some pancakes. And I'm looking at her like, what? And she's just like, oh, but I'll get you pancakes too. And I'm like, I don't think you would have offered if I hadn't given you that look. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was just everybody's booth watcher. You know, like I just felt like, okay, she's trying to put me way low down. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that she did bring me pancakes. She did bring what I asked. She did say, like, oh, if you need me to watch your booth, I will. But here's where the, me feeling sick, and the dream that I had this morning that kind of just confirmed, something. Who's to say that she, maybe cursed my paintings or cursed my panel, okay? Like the little space that I had, maybe she cursed it. I don't know. But what I found weird was when I went back to my panel, I stood like a far back away, but in front of my panel. And I was watching people, watching their reactions to my work. Let me tell you something. And this was something that I did not share with just Rob. But on both sides of me, there were artists that put up their, I'm not going to lie, their work was shitty, okay? Argue with me. It was shitty. And both of those artists were not there. They were not present during the whole fucking show. I have not seen them. I have not talked with them. But both sides, like both panels on each side of me, everybody was drawn to those shitty panels. People were so close up studying the shitty works on the panel, pretty much covering in the way of other people looking at my panel. And there was a couple of times where I walked up to people and I'm like, excuse me, like there's people trying to look at my work. There was no apology. There was no like, oh, okay, well, sorry, we just wanted to see you, we'll get out of the way. Nothing. They were just like, man, I almost grabbed this bitch by her fucking backpack and almost pulled her ass out and threw her ass in the middle of the fucking aisle. But how is it that people really, really look like if people are going to right to the left, right? They would study the panel right of my paintings and they're like, oh, wow, I really like that. How does their eyesight go like from there glazing over mine to the next shitty panel and have a closer look at that? I was watching this shit and I was like, okay, somebody has done something to my panel. You guys would not believe. You guys would be like, what the fuck? Like, why aren't people seeing it? Like, it's not like, how come people aren't looking at it? But people were moving, looking, and acting like nothing was there. It is so weird. And that screams spirituality. It does. It just fucking does. All night, I only had 4 people really admire my work. One guy or 2 of them, they were artists. And they were like, wow, your art is so amazing. And when they saw the prices on my work, they were like, oh my gosh, yes, that is so worth it. I think you priced your work at where it needs to be. Your work is spectacular. And I was like, thank you so much. You know, I love compliments. The other 2 were men. And they were, you know, a lot of men, they're attracted to the Hopi buffalo. If you guys go to my website, audreyalcuenva.com, you'll see the buffalo painting. It's on a navy blue background. That's the one that I took to the show, and 2 men were like studying it. And one man said to his wife, like, oh, I really like the bison. It's so funny, people's choices of words. Artist says. But I was laughing because he said bison. But I just couldn't believe like how people moved over my works as if nothing was there. That was just crazy to me. I felt so disrespected, and yeah, I told Rob, you know, because Rob was trying to get me to go. But again, like the rule said, you know, you cannot leave until such and such time. But see, even people weren't following the rules. They were just taking their works and leaving. And I'm just like, okay, well, fuck. If they're leaving, I'm going to leave then. And I told Rob. And yeah, I did not say hoot to that lady. You know, I appreciate her getting me the pancakes and things like that. But just Rob says, yeah, the buffalo is amazing and I love the colors. Thanks, babe. Thanks, babe. But yeah, and I said goodbye to one other artist. Well, the one that I got the information. I said, hey, maybe we can have some coffee or maybe collab on a painting. And he said something to me. I don't know what the hell he said. Because like I said, you cannot hear anybody over the music. And I was just like, hi, yeah, okay, great. I'll talk to you later. And I already had bad hearing. You guys already know that. But yeah, I put everything in a car and I was out. Peace. You know, like it was a disappointment because all the rushing that I did. And again, I do take responsibility for doing everything last minute. But for the amount of hustling that I did and how hard I tried. And, you know, just the rushing, I guess. Like, you know, because you want everything to be its best. You know, you want your paintings to just, you know, wow the crowd. And, you know, you're just ready to talk to people. You're just ready to meet new people, whether they're customers or artists or, you know, or the organizers of the place. You know, you're just like set and ready, you know, like you're just, you know, you're putting on your best shit, you know, like you're, you know, put on your best outfit, you know, put on your best jewelry. And You got a little bit of extras that you want to give people, and you have topics, icebreakers, like it's the prep, like it's all of those things, and you feel good, and you feel like, yes, this is like gonna be like the best, it's gonna be a good experience. And then when you get there, like everybody's walking all over everyone, you're pretty much yelling at everyone, and everyone's yelling at you, and nobody's looking at you, no one's looking for you. Some people, they look at your art and they're not curious about the artist, like, oh, whose work is this? I would love to meet the artist. Like, no one is doing that. They don't want to know nothing about the piece. Like, oh, that's a cricket. Oh, that's a buffalo. Oh, that's I don't even know what the fuck that is. But yeah, it looks cool. Cheers. Gulp, gulp, gulp. I don't know. Pancake. Like that's why I'm like, okay, that's not the place for me. Yeah, it's a cool place to show your art, and you could just kick it. Like, you could just, like, oh yeah, my work's over there, if somebody has the fucking nerve to ask, or the curiosity to ask. But like, if you're just there, like, yeah, my work is there, people can get the information if they want it. While my art is chilling there, I'm gonna mix and mingle, and rub elbows with people and artists, and I'm gonna check out everybody's art and meet the actual artist and see where their mindset was at when they made the piece, and dance and enjoy the music. Like, sure, but to sound, the sound effects are hey babe, no baby, no. Yeah, I mean, that would be good for that, right? But I was there thinking, like I said, like, I'm all glammed and dolled up. I'm ready to have professional conversations, and explain my piece and encourage and teach people. But that didn't happen. You can't do it at a place like that. To show the art, sure. But I was stressed that whole fucking time. Like, I was stressed the whole week leading up to the thing. I was stressed all day yesterday, and my stomach was hurting. And then having to wait 3 pointless fucking hours just for everything to start when I was already set up by 5, as it instructed us to. So that whole time, honestly, was a waste of my time. It may have been worth it for everybody else, but for me, no. It was just a place for people to have free pancakes and to drink, and to jam out, listen to music. That was it. If artists made money through prints, originals, good for them. Good for them. I'm glad that you did. That was your, that was your place, right? But not for me. That's just my opinion. That's my experience. Pancakes and booze, that's one hell of a market. That's a tactic, and they made their money. Well, I'm sure most of us didn't. It was, I don't want to say using artists to get people through their doors, but they made their money. Cover charges and, beer, and what, like a box of pancake mix is a couple bucks. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't lose anything. I lost $21 on what they said. Like, oh, you can, display your things for free, but why did you say I have to pay $21? That was like another thing that I didn't understand. Everything's all in the fine print, but, we don't, all of us, don't just blame me. We all don't fucking read the fine print. But whatever, I paid it. It's done. I showed up, didn't like it. It was a waste of my time. It was a whole stressful fucking week for fucking hours that I did not enjoy, plus 3 fucking hours that of just waiting around doing nothing when I could have just showed up at the last fucking minute, right? Like everybody else did, and nothing got said to them. So, I'm sure you guys are wondering what the dream was. Long story short, I dreamt about a snake. And in my culture, if you dream about a snake, it means that someone is angry at you. Like someone doesn't like you, someone's mad at you. Now, if you dream of a whole bunch of snakes, that's like many people are upset with you, right? In my dream, it was a baby snake. It was coiled up. Honestly, it looked like a dog's pile of shit, but with snake patterns on it. Like it was like the baby snake looked swollen. It was a chubby ass fucking little snake. And it had something in its mouth, and there was a whole bunch of flies all around it. And I think that whether it was somebody at the event, maybe someone saw me posting on my Instagram stories that didn't like my work or didn't like me or didn't, like that I was getting ready for an event. It could be anything that people just don't like, or they're just like, oh my God, like this bitch is showing off. And it's like, well, I don't show off a whole lot, so I don't know why the fuck you're mad just because I post 1 or 2 pictures every blue moon, every other blue moon, like, and you're mad at me because I just popped out of nowhere with just one painting video. You know what I'm saying? But I think seeing that baby snake with the flies, I think that was telling me, like giving confirmation that, oh, the reason why you were feeling sick was because somebody was upset with you. So, spiritually, like my body was letting me know that someone is upset with me. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Just Rob says that's what she calls my a chubby little thing. You better shut up with that. Quit telling on me, babe. I'm kidding. I don't call it that. You crazy. Oh my gosh. I'm starting to sound like Miley Cyrus. I'm fucking losing my voice. I don't know what it's because I was screaming at people. That's where that comes from. Because I woke up this morning kind of like, talking like that. And I'm just like, why do I sound like that? Oh my God, I'm Miley Cyrus. Oh my gosh. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Takeaways. Learn from me. Okay. Do everything ahead of time. Have all your things printed out, have everything done on hand, have everything packaged and signed, and, have all of your paintings all set and ready to go for shipping if somebody's gonna purchase them. That way you're not running around with your, head cut off like I was. Just have everything ready, have everything, I would say have everything labeled, because I was running around my fucking office, like looking for things in containers, and I'm just like, I thought I made labels for these. Well, guess what? They popped the fuck off. So, and all of the labels are on the floor. I will take a picture. I'll fucking show you guys. But yes, like have everything ready, like maybe have a container all set and ready to go for a show. Have your business cards ready. If you guys have postcards and little baggies, for if people are buying multiple things. Be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it like me, man. I was just fucking beside myself. But yes, that is it for this live art struggles episode. He's like, oh no. But yes, thank you all so much for tuning in live. Thank you all so much for pressing play. Don't forget to add, rate, comment, subscribe, follow, and share. And I will talk to you guys in the next Audie's Art Struggles podcast episode.